City lights looking like ice underneath the stars. Beautiful, but I'd rather be right here where we are. Go and tell your friends we're running late again. What you think? Pour another drink and call off the car. I could spend 1,000 nights right here inside this room. Swear the only one I want is you, and it doesn't matter what we do. We could have nothing at all and it still feel like nothing's missing. Now we're moving like we're on the moon. Dom Perignon drip on our shoes. We could fly around the world, but we always end up dancing in the kitchen. Dancing in the kitchen. I don't mind if this whole town goes up in flames. As long as I got you with me, I'ma be okay. Slide across the floor, I'm forever yours. Yeah. What you think? Pour another drink, put it on replay. I could spend 1,000 nights right here inside this room. Swear the only one I want is you, and it doesn't matter what we do. We could have nothing at all and it still feel like nothing's missing. Now we're moving like we're on the moon. Dom Perignon drip on our shoes. We could fly around the world, but we always end up dancing in the kitchen. 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 I could spend 1,000 nights right here inside this room. Tell me, baby, if you feel the same way that I do. Swear the only one I want is you, and it doesn't matter what we do. We could have nothing at all and it still feel like nothing's missing. Now we're moving like we're on the moon. Dom Perignon drip on our shoes. We can fly around the world, but we always end up dancing in the kitchen. 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 Dancing in the kitchen.
We were undergrad, stayed out late, never made it to class. Out of restaurant in a taxi cab, you were sweating bullets on the way to my dad's and all. You said, baby, think we're moving too fast. I swear the magnolias flashed the smile, and that's when you caught me holding
Bibi.
you inside your mind. Maybe I'll fall in love again come every summertime. Daddy told me to choose it wisely, but you don't have to try. 'Cause maybe I'll fall in love every summertime. 25 and we're missing church. Laugh out everyone we're hating at work. Dinner with your sister and the joke's gonna hurt. Cry the way home and you're putting me first. Oh, yeah. You just always know what to say. We're strolling down the boulevard, dancing under streetlights. Oh, yeah. Every year we get older and I'm still on your side. Maybe I'd give up anything to drive you inside your mind. Maybe I'll fall in love again come every summertime. Daddy taught me to choose it wisely, but you don't have to try. 'Cause maybe I'll fall in love every summertime. Every day, summertime. Every day, summertime. Every day, summertime with you. Every day, summertime. Every day, summertime. Every day, summertime with you.
Weekend, I'm begging you love. Stay for the weekend. But if you try, weekend. But if you try, weekend. Weekend. No weekends, no weekends. Feel like a kid at the school on the weekend. I've been living it up, try breaking me down, I'll take it back up. They've been wondering where, wondering why I stay in the cut. They don't wanna wait in vain, I'm turning the page, I'm learning to trust. You're my starlight, moonshine, and burning sun. I've been living it up, try breaking me down, I'll take it back up. They've been wondering where, wondering why I stay in the cut. They don't wanna wait in vain, I'm turning the page, I'm learning to love. You're my starlight, moonshine, and burning sun. You wanna leave, I won't stop ya. You're the one I would die for. The other ones come with sad stories. You're the one I go ride for. Waiting to fall for over 2 seasons. In spring I'm sprung for the wrong reasons. Baby, forgive me for rivers that I can't stop. 'Cause my heart freezing winter. I don't wanna be a savage. Done with summertime madness. Your sunshine was magic, but thought I would never know what that is. I've been living it up, try breaking me down, I'll take it back up. They've been wondering where, wondering why I stay in the cut. They don't wanna wait in vain, I'm turning the page, I'm learning to trust. You're my starlight, moonshine, and burning sun. I've been living it up, try breaking me down, I'll take it back up. They've been wondering where, wondering why I stay in the cut. They don't wanna wait.
I don't wanna go another day, so I'm telling you exactly what is on my mind. Seems like everybody's breaking up and throwing their love away, but I know I got a good thing right here. That's why I say, hey, nobody gonna love me better. I must stick with you forever. Nobody gonna take me higher. I must stick with you. You know how to appreciate me. I must stick with you, my baby. Nobody ever made me feel this way. I must stick with you. I don't wanna go another day, so I'm telling you exactly what is on my mind. See the way we ride in our private lives, ain't nobody getting in between. I want you to know that you're the only one for me. Nobody gonna love me better. I must stick with you forever. Nobody gonna take me higher. I must stick with you. You know how to appreciate me. I must stick with you, my baby. Nobody ever made me feel this way. I must stick with you. And ain't nothing else I could use. And I'm singing 'cause you're so into me. I got you. We'll be making love endlessly. I'm with you, baby, you're with me. So don't you worry about people hanging around. They ain't bringing us down. I know you and you know me, and that's all that counts. So don't you worry about people hanging around. They ain't bringing us down. I know you and you know me, and that's why I say, hey, nobody gonna love me better. I must stick with you forever. Nobody gonna take me higher. I must stick with you. You know how to appreciate me. I must stick with you, my baby. Nobody ever made me feel this way. I must stick with you. Nobody gonna love me better. I must stick with you forever. Nobody gonna take me higher. I must stick with you. You know how to appreciate me. I must stick with you, my baby. Nobody ever made me feel this way. I must stick with you.
Casio, playing on my heart just like a Casio, breaking it apart so you can let it go. Oh, wait another year, that's not original. I'm cynical, alright, let's go now. When all your dreams are gone and you're still holding on, you waited for too long. I know, you know, so play it cool. I just want the keys back to my vehicle. They're just gonna tell you that I wasn't real. And I just wanna tell you this is how I feel. I know you feel, I know you feel it. When all your dreams are gone and you're still holding on, you waited for.
Good evening and welcome to the fourth episode of SDG Talks with Gloreen. My name is Emina Kulasigbong Aimin and I am the head of Gloreen Departments in UUMUN Model UN Club, as well as your host tonight. Let's begin our program tonight with National Anthem, Negaraku, and the University song Biru Warna, followed by an opening prayer led by Haris Daniel bin Muhammad Hassan.
sentuhan membara langit biru mencari ilmu berteman kebudimanan bina nusa bina dunia sejahtera Uni utama ibu yang tercinta kami doa lanjut usia bahagia kami janji hormati pesanmu ilmu budi dan bakti kami anak alam insan Tuhan membara langit biru mencari ilmu berteman kebudimanan bina nusa bina dunia sejahtera Uni utama ibu yang tercinta kami doa lanjut usia bahagia kami janji hormati pesanmu ilmu budi dan bakti ilmu budi dan bakti
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin. Wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajmain. Ya Allah, in your name who heals all diseases, in your name who meets all requests, in your name who forgives all sins, omnipotent and all-knowing, in your name that nothing can harm, both on earth and in heaven. Ya Rabbana, indeed only to you do we express our gratitude. Only to you we worship and only to you we ask for help. So by your bless and blessing, we are allowed to launching our program, which is SDG Talk for Our Hatred of Turtle. Nothing is easy unless you make it so, and you have made it so. Ya Allah, enlighten our hearts with the light of your guidance, as how you enlighten the earth with your Son forever. So you make it easy for us to get knowledge. May Allah shower His blessing upon the speaker for the knowledge that is poured out on us. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina azabannar. Wa sallallahu ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman katsira. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Amin.
After 2 months break for myself and my team, SDG Talks is finally back for 3 more episodes to discover and discuss the issues related to sustainability. Now, before I start, let me just give a very quick disclaimer and also apology for my squeaky fan. I have no idea why the fan in my room is squeaking tonight, but I guess everyone's just gonna have to live with that, and so am I. So, as you know, SDG Talks is a monthly talk series carried out by Gloreen as an effort to promote awareness and adoption of the Sustainable Development Goals among students by chatting about our relatable experiences together. Before I explain what this episode is all about, let me very quickly introduce our speakers today. Firstly, we have no one other than Ms. Nurul Najiha, who is currently holding the position of Administrative Secretary in the Students' Representative Council, or as we are all more familiar with the term MPP. How are you tonight, Najiha?
Alhamdulillah, doing good, Amina. Thank you so much.
Yes, that's great to hear. And secondly, we have Tengku Arif Zakwan, who is also part of the Student Representative Council, and he's holding the position of Executive of Student Complaint and Crisis, if I'm not mistaken. It's very nice to have you here tonight, Tengku, but how may I address you? Because your name is very long, just like mine.
In short, you can address me as TG. It's a short
All right.
form for Tengku. Yeah, it's
All
easier
right.
to see it that way.
All right, it's absolute pleasure to have you, TG, with us tonight. So, for the information of the audience, every episode of our SDG Talk series will focus on one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. As usual, I always allow the audience to guess which goal we will be focusing on for tonight's episode. So, can anyone guess it tonight? If you can, comment it down in the comment section. Tonight's SDG talk is about the 16th Sustainable Development Goal, which is peace, justice, and strong institutions. The very purpose of this goal is to build effective, accountable, and inclusive institutions at all levels. So, within our university itself, I do believe the strongest institution amongst the students would be the Student Representative Council, which is why I have these two honorable guests. Now, some might be wondering, what does any of this have to do with turtles? The truth is, nothing. The title was just a clickbait to get everyone to come, and I'm hoping it worked. So let's dive right into the talks by getting to know our special guest of tonight. Miss Najiha, why don't you kick things off with an introduction about yourself?
All right. Thank you, Miss Amina. My name is Nurul Najiha Bairus Khan, and I go by Jiha in UUM. Currently pursuing Bachelor's of International Affairs Management and in my final semester before going for my internship. And for your kind information, I was born in Penang but raised in Sri Manjung, Perak. And of course, Manjung is an urban area, but unlike the metropolitan city of KL or some other sort, Manjung is a very calming city without much jam and stuff. However, I consider myself as a Penangite actually, because Penang is my hometown and I feel like I belong there compared to Manjung. And I bet I don't have to explain much about Penang because you all know how Penang is. So, putting my personal life aside, apart from being a student, I am also entrusted with the responsibility of being the Student Representative Council of UUM. And to be specific, as Amina had already mentioned, I am the Administrative Secretary of NPP UUM. And alongside being an Administrative Secretary, I'm also the MPP for School of International Studies, or so it's in short. And that's about it, I guess.
Wow, all right. You don't have to explain a lot about Penang because Penang is just nearby to Kedah and UUM, right? If anyone wants to know about it, they can go themselves and take a look. So let's not forget about our second guest, TG. Let's hear a little bit about you too.
Okay, sure. Thank you, Amina, for the wonderful introduction of the MPPs for our talk tonight. Hi, everyone. Assalamualaikum and a very good evening. My name is Tengku Arzaka bin Tengku Azmi. I'm currently taking International Affairs Management as my major. And yeah, same as Jiha, I'm also in my last year or in our last semester as a UUM student. So I'm 22 years old and I'm from Bandar Baru Bangi, Selangor. I'm not sure whether all of you are familiar with Bandar Baru Bangi, but you may saw Bandar Baru Bangi during these few days in the news or in social medias because Bandar Baru Bangi is actually famous and well known for its shopping center or shopping hub for people to go shop there during Hari Raya. So yeah, as a reminder for me and for my KL and Selangor friends, do not go to Bangi during this time. You will get stuck in traffic jam from time to time. And apart from that, I'm also a member of the Student Representative Council in UUM. I'm holding the position of Executive of Current Affairs and Crisis. And I'm also holding the position of the SRC for our School of International Studies, University Utara Malaysia. So I guess that's a bit about me to all of you. Thank you, Amina.
All right, so we have two very highly qualified speakers tonight. So I do have a lot of questions for the two of you regarding the SDGs, but since SDGs is also about sustainability, let's start with a little quick bit about the guests themselves, because we want to know more about them before we can know about what their thoughts are towards the issues which we're discussing. So Najiha, maybe you can share with myself and my audience about how and why you chose to become a student representative. Like, where does your story start?
Okay, to begin with, to answer your first question on how I became one, before coming into this arena of campus politics, I was the Timbalan Exco of Integrasi, Community and Antarabangsa of JKPS INASI SDG. And from there, this someone whom I have huge respect for somehow saw the potential that I had within myself, which even I didn't realize of having one, approached me, and here we are. The rest is history. And to answer your second question, despite having self-doubt about my ability to hold such a huge position, because we all know NPP is a really huge position indeed, I said yes right away because serving is something that have always been a part of me since I was in secondary school. I definitely was not born with this nature, but rather I incorporated it through experiences from my secondary school because I was quite active even then. And I do know the satisfaction or the contentment of serving people with the best. Hence, from there, I promised myself that it's okay to question myself or to have self-doubt if it can help me to contribute better and bring justice to my role. So I hope that answers your question. That is how and why I became NPP. Thank you so much.
All right, that's very fascinating. And I guess the self doubt that you have is what keeps you so humble and kind as you are. So, when I think about the MPP as an average student, what I do know is that you guys have to go through elections, unlike us within clubs. Maybe we do have club elections, but we don't have a huge campus elections like what you guys have to go through. I'm sure everyone watching will remember the elections that we had last semester. I believe it was only a few months ago, and it must have been such a challenge to gain votes and support. So TG, maybe you could share a little bit about the struggles which maybe you faced in getting to your position, and also what it is you have done since being elected.
Okay, thank you, Amina, for the wonderful question. Okay, when we talk about elections or campus election, we have so much things to talk about. But if we wanted to talk about the struggles or the difficulties that we face, of course, time, balancing time with our own responsibilities as a student. And yes, just now Amina said that we are the MPPs and Amina is an average student. I'm afraid we are not because all of us actually are students, and we are here to remind all of you that the MPPs are not somehow above all of you. We are all the same. We are still students. We still need to take exams. We still need to go to the cafe to eat and drink stuff. So yeah, we are all the same. And answering your question, yes, my first answer would be time management. Time management is really crucial, and it's we've been facing hectic weeks, I believe, up till now since before the election. So during the election, we are so packed with schedules such as we need to make videos, we need to gain votes through posters, through talks, through events that we that occurred during that time. And yeah, if you ask me myself, why do I choose to become an MPP? So here's a little personal story of mine. Actually, I've been approached by Perubahan Mahasiswa. Perubahan Mahasiswa is one of the parties that are registered under UM. So Perubahan Mahasiswa is actually one of the parties that are electing or are inside the election. So I'm one of them. They have approached me 2 times. Once when I was in semester 3, and second is during when I was in semester 5. So during the first time, actually, I rejected their offer because I believe I have so little experience and I have done much to I don't have anything to offer yet. But as time passes and when I'm in my semester 5, I got the confidence, I got the courage, and yeah, I go for it. And thank God, I think I made the right choice for accepting the offer. And answering your questions regarding what are my achievements or the MPP's achievement, actually it's uncountable. And I believe most of the MPPs, we achieve things that are not publicized or are not known to our eyes. So let's say there's a student who face difficulties, let's say in their studies or in their academic matters, we are here to help all of you. And other than academic matters, we also facilitate issues around the campus, such as the Wi-Fi, such as INASIS problems, or even pusat sukan and other things. So I can say that most of our achievements are not publicized. It's because we prefer it that way. Because in Malay we call that ikhlas. Okay, but we don't really publicize everything that we do, but there actually is a lot of achievement. And if you want to keep tracking or want to track our achievements down, you can refer it to our Instagram account, official MPP and also other schools MPP's official Instagram account. So yeah, I think that's for it for the second question. Back to you, Amina.
All right. When TG brought up the point of time management and how busy he is, it reminded me of how, because TG and I are friends previous to this actual, what is it, program. And even though we're friends, we don't even see each other more than once a month. Everyone always tells me about how busy TG is. And it's true, he is a very busy man. So let's get into the more serious stuff now. Some people may be wondering, okay. Some people may be wondering why today's episode is called Our Hatred for Turtles. So besides from the fact that I wanted to clickbait everyone, I hope everyone also realizes that plastic pollution is one of the biggest killers of marine life in the world. There are campaigns all over the world which encourage cutting plastic consumption. But does that issue of cutting plastic consumption ever worry the students of UUM? As a member of MPP, Najiha, what are some of your honest observations about the plastic consumptions amongst UUM students?
Based on my observation, I think one thing about UM student is we as students, our lives are surrounded by plastic materials in the classroom. If we do attend physical classes, in offices or administration region, cafe, and of course student accommodation itself. And we don't have any policy restricting this consumption as how we do in a certain state where on a certain day plastic use is a ban in the shopping mall. We don't have that policy, but if you ask me, even if we incorporate that policy in campus, I don't think it is sufficient enough because UUM students are also able to acquire plastic materials outside. However, I do realize that the improvement that we are moving towards where materials made of plastics and non-biodegradable food packages are slowly being replaced by biodegradable polystyrene and paper-made products. For instance, as we can see, even food vendors realize the demands that they have to meet in line with the current era because students are aware of the fact that plastics are not environmental friendly. So even they are starting to sell takeaway food in biodegradable polystyrene and paper-made materials. In fact, we do have this separate dustbin for female sanitary pads. Right, if you notice at the toilet in INASIS or administrative region, where this particular company, where you have a contract with this particular company in which they will come and collect the sanitary pad waste on a separate container to ensure the sustainability is retained. Henceforth, based on my personal observation, I believe UUM is doing quite well. We are moving towards the improvement era of not using plastic that much. I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Najiha. And I do agree in the sense that UUM has taken a lot of initiatives to encourage, how do I say it, decreasing plastic consumption. As you have mentioned, the sanitary disposal bins, and also because I stay in MIC, right opposite from my Inasis, there's this gigantic bin for recycling. But the thing is, they're not really used. That's the problem. And just to follow up on what Najiha said, and this is an open question to both TG and Najiha, how do you think UUM's littering and plastic consumption compares with other universities in campus? maybe you have heard about or maybe visited other campuses? And do you see us being better or worse, or are we, almost the same?
Okay, thank you, Amina, once again for the wonderful question. Okay, if I wanted to answer this question, I would say that there are actually no proper or an official study that studies or compares universities and other universities. And this also involves UUM. So if we want to compare UUM and let's say UPM, USAM, and other campus, we may not know because there are no proper studies. But I think I may answer this question based on my assumption. Me, myself, as a UM student, I've been around UM since 2018 because I'm an Asasi student here in UM, a foundation student. So throughout my years, throughout these 5 years, I believe, my study journey here, I could say that UM is one of the most clean places I've ever been. This is because not mainly on assumption, but based on my experience. Because let's say there's an event going on, like a really big physical event. Let's take PESCON, for example, Pesta Convo. It's a really big event. It involves third parties. It involves outsiders. It involves everyone. We accepted or we gain participants for almost more than 500 every day. So when I go to PESCON or any other events, I could say that even there are a lot of people, there are people eating, there are people, do all kind of activities. UM managed to keep our campus clean. And not only during events, also during our daily life as a student, we could see, let's say we are walking from Vmall to, let's say, Inasis TM. We couldn't see any trash. Maybe there are few, but I think it's acceptable if you see a few. Maybe someone litter, accidentally litter, but yeah, I can say that UM is one of the most cleanest campus. And to add up to my point, I've been to other universities as well. I've been to UPM, I've been to UNIMAP, I've been to many universities, and if I could compare, UM is one of the most cleanest place I've ever been. So what about you, Najia? Do you agree?
Yes, of course I do, Tengku. I think UUM is a really nice place to be around because our students are civilized enough, indeed, I bet, in this aspect.
All right. I don't know. In my personal opinion, we do still have a littering issue, especially with face masks. Everywhere I go on campus, because I like walking, so I usually walk everywhere. There's face masks everywhere. I try to pick them up as I go, but sometimes it's kind of disgusting to pick up another person's face mask. So if you are watching this and you are on the UUM campus, please take care of where you put your face mask, dispose of them correctly, and make sure you tear off the strings when you throw them away so that they do not hurt the wildlife like the monkeys which we have on campus. So back to the topic itself. In my opinion, a clean campus and also any environmentally clean behavior in the community always begins on an individual level. However, it's it's a habit. We have to start a habit when we want to start being clean. And in my opinion, throwing rubbish in the right place is not a clean enough habit. I feel like UUM students especially should start practicing more or better habits just to be a cleaner person in general. For example, there are some times when I see people who go to the canteen. Of course, not this month since it's Ramadan, but prior to Ramadan, they'll go to the canteen 2-3 times a day. And in those 2-3 times, they will use up multiple plastic containers and multiple plastic bags a day. So it's difficult. I understand it's difficult to start these habits. But maybe we could hear from the students' representative, Najiha. Why do you think it is so difficult for us, especially as UUM students, to adopt these habits?
I'm not going to go for a cliche answer, which is lack of education or stuff. I'm just going to be bluntly honest here, I think ignorance is the answer. We are living in a digital world where everything can be learned from the tip of a hand. The environmental issue is not something new, and we all know what is happening across the world. So, if we as university students, especially, choose to practice inadequate behavior which retard the environmental growth, that must be because of one's morality aspect, as what even Amina had mentioned before this. So always ask yourself whether what you're doing is harmful to the environment or not. Before drinking using a straw, ask yourself whether it is inevitable or not, whether it is avoidable or not. If you feel so malas to bring the stainless steel straw to the cafe, you can choose to drink using the glass or cup alone. So why take a straw? Why take a plastic straw, right? So it is more on asking yourself and questioning yourself whether what you're doing is right or wrong. So it's more on ignorance lah. I believe the answer. I was just bluntly honest, but yeah.
Honesty is exactly what we want to see from this SDG talks. You know, we want to see honesty and vulnerability and willingness to find a conclusion. So, as we have discussed, our eating habits is what's causing a lot of plastic consumptions here. The cafes are normally the place where plastic bags, straws, as Jiha has mentioned, and containers are being used at a very large scale. And I'm sure it can be up to the individuals to cut back on how much they consume. But I think it's also fair for a higher committee or body of power to implement such rules. So I'm going to point this question. Sorry for skipping you, TG, but back to Najiha again. Do you think it will ever be possible for UUM, not necessarily the MPP, but any of the management, to form regulations in order to cut plastic consumptions, especially from the cafes and eating areas in campus?
To answer your question, Amina, I think of course we do have the capacity to do so because in fact MPP are also involved in policy making. In fact, we have Parliament Mahasiswa to debate on initiative we have Parliament Mahasiswa to initiate various new policies and address to the management accordingly with proper plan and documentation. Although the issue is addressed by President JKTS or club president, MPP will be the one who will proceed with implementation. So this kind of regulation is definitely able to be practiced if it is carried out accordingly. So although you can acquire plastics outside, but when you nurture the character of not using plastic in campus, you will eventually practice that outside university as well. So in-campus regulation is of course is a must, and we as MPP we have capacity to bring this forward to the management. And even if we are not bringing this forward, of course management are able to do so if they take the first step. So it's all about initiating the first step towards this kind of regulation.
That's very nice to hear. But within your tenure, because I see the MPPs are already doing so much, do either of you think that there'll ever be a chance that this is brought up during your sittings, or do you think that maybe this is an issue that could be a potential running strategy for the next tenure itself?
Teguh, would you like to take the floor? Okay, I shall answer first. In regards to your question, I believe, of course, there is a potential for us to bring this forward. However, it's all about initiating the first step. If there is someone who initiate this in the Parliament Mahasiswa, for instance, then of course we can make it into practice. So to answer your question back to Amina, I bet, of course, we are able to do so if we take the first step.
Okay, I think I can add on a bit regarding this one. Okay, so when it comes to implementation or enforcement of new kind of laws or rules, I believe that the management, not students, I believe the management is more powerful and more impactful if they make new laws or new rules in the campus. So in UM, we have actually a lot of PTJ, Pusat Tanggungjawab, or bodies of under UM that actually regulates and handle the student affairs from time to time. So there's one PTG, it's HEP, Hal Ehwal Pelajar or Student Affairs Department. HEP is responsible for all kind of student affairs, including their activities, their events, or even their programs. So I believe that HEP actually could initiate or encourage these students, like all of us, to go green or to keep our environment clean. So let's say when a club or an association wanted to do a program, HEP could set out a new rules, a new kind of rules, saying that okay, if you want to do this program, you need to make sure that the environment of your program needs to be clean, or else you could be punished. HEP has the power to do that. But yeah, up till this point, I believe that actually UM has not been encouraging or has not been enforcing cleanliness among the campus towards us. So I believe the management, especially HEP, has the power to do so. And other initiatives could be done as well, such as no plastic bag day. So we could see that almost all cafes, restaurant, and even V Mall are utilizing or using plastic bags. So imagine each day there are almost 100 students, more I believe more than 100 students are visiting cafes and restaurants, and each and every one of them are bringing a plastic bag, or yeah, using a plastic bag that they have brought from their home or from their room. It's not, I'm sorry, it's actually not plastic bag, their own bag. I mean their grocery bag. So when we utilize or when we initiate a no bag or a no plastic bag day, this could surely make UUM a greener campus. So yeah, back to you, Amina.
I love the way TG and also Najiha puts it into perspective. We can clearly see how these things can be achieved and who is responsible for achieving them. So I'm going to circle back to the littering issue and cleanliness issue, which we talked about earlier. And DG, I believe your cabinet or your portfolio is for Aduan and crisis, right? So has there ever, like, this is just purely out of curiosity, has there ever been maybe complaints or issues brought up to your department regarding cleanliness and littering within the campus by students?
Okay, thank you, Amina, for the question. So, as Amina mentioned, I'm the executive of current affairs and crisis. So, I'm actually the person. I'm the middleman that receive all sort of complaints, all sorts of reports, and yeah, any other things. But up till now, I don't think there's much complaint regarding cleanliness or environmental issues that I'm receiving based on my executive. Like every day, I receive complaints or reports regarding student affairs such as ad drop. Yeah, ad drop. Ad drop has been one of my biggest concern, or yeah, it has become one of my nightmares during those early weeks of this semester. Besides ad drop, I receive complaints regarding Wi-Fi, regarding their portal, regarding their inassist, such as they are having problem to have a room when they are back on phase two. So yeah, when regarding cleanliness or the environmental um, cases in UM, I believe I'm not receiving enough. But as me myself as a student, I ate at cafes, I ate at restaurant, I walk around campus just like Amina. And I can say that sometimes when I go to cafes, I'm not going to mention which cafe, sometimes the sink is clogged. The sink is clogged, and sometimes I can see plastics, I can see straws, I can see even waste, food waste laying around in the cafe. So it's very dirty, and I don't like it at all. But as for answering Amina's question, up till now, if there's any complaints or any concerns regarding the cleanliness of UUM, you may address it to me directly. Yeah, you can access to me through WhatsApp, through Telegram, or even through Instagram. Okay, Amina, back to you.
All right. It's I think it's a good thing that you're not receiving any complaints about the cleanliness or even the environment. It means we're something's going right. As both Najiha and Tengku has mentioned just now, they are the student representative from School of International Studies, which is SOIS. It's also the school where I'm from, and it's the school that UUMUN is under. So, and they have mentioned that they are students of International Affairs Management. So, the Sustainable Development Goals are very important to us in tough students. Well, I think so far, based on my studies, they haven't been mentioned that much, but they are very important, plainly because it was an initiative created by the United Nations. Furthermore, they are set to be created by 2030, which is very, very soon. But how deeply are they rooted within UUM? Najiha, in your opinion, do you think UUM is successfully promoting and instilling the SDGs on campus?
Yes, of course, because even to organize a program, you have to meet certain key performance index or KPI set by the university, which is aligned with the SDG initiated by the UN. And at UUM, we have a system called a student activity system, or friendly known as SAMS, which falls under the supervision of HEP, Jabatan Hal Ehwal Pelajar, and it is basically a platform for students to apply paperwork to organize the program. And one of the requirements set to approve the paperwork is for us to choose a category that falls under one of the SDG, and this is and the categories that we have to pick is supposed to be aligned with our program. And for environmental aspect or for sustainability, I bet some of the categories are climate action, life on land, as well as life below water, if I'm not mistaken. And I believe even for this program, even in order to organize this program, you must have picked any of the sustainable development goals. So clearly, without a doubt, UUM is indeed successfully promoting and instilling the SDGs that has been encouraged by the United Nations.
That's great to hear. And it is true, we do have to fit all of our programs into one of the SDGs. It's very easy to do so, considering there are so many of them and they're so broad. It's even easier to do so if you organize programs like myself, where every single episode is based on an SDG. You don't need to think too much, you just have to do clicking. So, yeah, contrary to many misconceptions, the SDGs are, as I have said, very broad, and they include many things, not just the environment or climate. So, I would love to hear about some of the actions which the MPP has done that are in line with some of the less common SDGs. So, if possible, the ones that are maybe not involved with the environment or climate. So, I'll let TG start, and then when you're done, could you pass it to Najiha?
Okay, thank you, Amina, once again for the wonderful question. Okay, talking about actions, or yeah, the actions that we took, the MPP took, in order to line in with the SDG goals. Actually, there's a lot. So in the SDG, there are 17 goals. So there is a lot. There is no poverty. I'm sorry, I didn't remember. But okay, there's a lot. Gender equality, good health and well-being, and much more. And when you're talking about the action that we took, I believe that most of the actions we took is through programs and also initiatives, because MPP is not only about doing programs and handling events, but also making initiatives. So, but I would like to take one program which is under Wong Yong Kai. He's actually also in semester 6, and he's actually a student representative council, also under School of International Studies, but he's not the MPP for, so he's just a member of the SRC. So Wong Yong Kai actually has been handling an event called Siswi Defense, if I'm not mistaken. The name is Siswi Defense. So I believe that Siswi Defense is actually in line with one of the SDG goals, which is gender equality, because we believe that yes, one of the goals is to make our campus, the UM campus, as one of the safest places for women to express themselves, to walk around freely without having to worry about anything. So yeah, Siswi Defense is an initiative, or more like a program by the MPP, especially for our Mahasiswi. So besides gender equality, there's also other SDG goals that us as MPP have done before. So we also have um, SSD or triple SD, the student responsibility. I couldn't remember the full name, but it's Triple SD. It's one of the bodies that took care or they manage student affairs, especially those who are belonging to the B40 sector and much more. And I believe there's also other initiatives. Najia, would you want to add some?
Yeah, of course. As what Tengku had mentioned, from the end of MPP, we have many plans in progress. And if I'm not mistaken, we have about 60 plus programs or initiatives that will be organized for this tenor. And in EMPP, we have several portfolios to cater each needs of the students. Different executives have different jurisdiction. For instance, Tengku is the executive of Haliwa Aduan dan Crisis. So his focus is going to be more on that aspect. So if program related to zero hunger or poverty or CSR related program, which is aligned with the SDG that I had mentioned, we have executive kesukarelawanan. In fact, this executive is also responsible to facilitate the needs of students in regards to their kebajikan. And in fact, Tengku had mentioned about triple SG, right? Actually, it stands for Bahagian Perkhidmatan and Sosial Pelajar. And this executive is responsible to facilitate the need of students just in case their parents passed away. One of the students' parents had passed away, and we need to, of course, support them monetarily. So this jabatan or this unit Triple SD is responsible for that, and executive kesukarelawan will have to take action in facilitating the students towards that department. So apart from that, executive kesukarelawanan also is in the midst of organizing Project Amal Ramadan, in which we give bantuan makanan in line with zero hunger. And apart from that, for OKU related needs, although we don't have any specific executive, but we treat them on a case-by-case basis. For instance, if the students have ADHD, for example, it's mental health issues, and if they need accommodation in the aspect of academic-related matters, for instance, they need a longer period of time to answer examination or a separate room and other accommodation, then this will be facilitated by executive latihan and academic. So we cater things based on case by case basis, and just because we don't organize program specifically for OKU students, but we do have other initiatives that we cater case by on a case by case basis. So I hope that answers the question. Thank you so much.
I love the answers given actually. The way that Najiha says it's not about the programs, but it's about the other initiatives. It's true. The way we cater to SDGs is not that we have to look at an SDG and try to fulfill it. We have to look at our daily lives and try to fit in an SDG. That is the way to go about. And from what both TG and Najiha have told me, um, yeah, UUM is doing very, very well. I think we can all give ourselves a pat on the back for that. So, on behalf of, oh wait, sorry, I skipped a column in my script. All in all, I think it's safe to say that the Students' Representative Council are leading UUM students towards a more sustainable future. I'm hoping to see more actions from all of you. And with that, we've actually come to an early end to our SDG Talks episodes. Now, this is the time I usually pass the floor to my guests to give their final thoughts and also to promote anything for their organizations or themselves. Now, both TJ and Najiha have mentioned so many things which the MPP are doing, but it's all right. I'm still going to let them have the floor. So let's start with Najiha, and when you're done, you can pass it to Tengku.
Okay. I just felt like addressing this right now. Actually, in UUM, we have an alumnus, namely Mr. Dick Lim Yu Tek, who is a graduate of Bachelor of Entrepreneurship, and in fact, he's the CEO of Food Box. For your kind information, Food Box is a food packaging manufacturer dedicating its products and services in line with eco-friendly materials. So, if we can produce such graduates from UUM, we are capable of more actually. And it all depends on individual built-in characteristics, whether you want to stay ignorant or choose to understand environmental activism. And that is for the topic lah. Apart from that, I would also like to deliver a message on my capacity as the entity UUM. where I would like to remind each and every one of you who are present today, who are watching this YouTube channel, to know your representative. This is so vital for you. This is so vital because when you know your representative, you can easily divert your issue into the right platform and acquire the right solution. We are here to help. If only if we are being addressed upon, or we are being called upon, because if you're not addressing the issue, then if you're not addressing the elephant in the room, we can't really help, because of course we need complaints and the issue being raised by you as students, because you are our stakeholders. Our responsibility is to serve you. So please do not forget to follow official NPP UUM to get the latest info on any updates or announcements. And for SOE students especially, please feel free to follow NPP SOE's official IG account, as well as my personal account, Nurul Najkan, alongside Tengku's IG as well. Because alongside updating about our personal sharings, we do update about our progress as MPP there. So last but not least, thank you so much for this opportunity, Modern United Nations Club, and Miss Director Tasha if I pronounce your name right, and of course Miss Moderator Amina. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Okay, and as for me myself, I would say that this issue actually is not a mild issue. It's something that we should always address from time to time, because we don't have this earth forever. Someday it might disappear and it may demolish if we didn't take care of our earth properly. And yes, I would like to say thank you so much to UMUN Club for giving us a platform or a medium for us to talk more, especially regarding MPPs, regarding this topic, and any other things. Thank you too to our moderator for tonight, Miss Amina. Thank you so much for giving much and very, very interesting question for us to answer. And lastly, I would like to say that for me as an MPP myself, we would really appreciate if all of the students, not only SOE students, but also everyone here in UM, to continuously trusting MPP as your representative, because we are here actually to serve you. We are here actually to assist you in all kind of matters. Maybe certain matters may not seem like like, okay, this issue TG cannot solve it, but maybe if you address it to me, I could help and I could find someone that are responsible, or their responsibility is in that area. So keep reaching out, not to only me and Jiha, but also to other MPPs as well, regarding various issues, no matter what, whether it's academics, whether it's student affairs, whether it's about anything about clubs, association, and anything else. So keep outreaching to us, because we will help you from time to time. Amina, is it okay if I want to advertise something?
Absolutely, this is your chance.
Okay, thank you. So actually, we MPP, the SRC of SOEs is going to conduct a really big event on this upcoming June. The date is from 7 till 10 of June. The event is called SOEs Carnival. So SOEs Carnival is actually a high impact program that consists of both programs, international affairs management and also international business management. So we make a program that suits both of these courses. So under SOEs Carnival, there will be global affairs fair, especially for our inter friends. There will be the pursuit of business, especially for our IBs friends, and not only IBs, everyone can learn about business. And we also have pursuit of business. We also have entrepreneurship festa, where under entrepreneurship festa we will have a lot of activities such as bundle expo. We'll have pesta kopi. We'll have studentpreneurship, where students can freely sell and buy goods from one another, and much more. So make sure to lock your dates from 7 till 10 June, and do not forget to attend SOEs Carnival. And PS, our recruitment form is actually still open. So if any of one of you here wanted to become one of our secretariats or one of our committees, you can just scan the QR code. As you can see on various groups we've been blasting here and there. The poster is in black in color. So I think that's all from me. Thank you so much once again to UMUN Club for conducting tonight's event. Thank you so much.
All right. So, everyone who's watching right now, keep your eyes peeled, and sign up for So East Carnival. I hear a lot of my friends talking about how they don't have enough merits and they don't have enough experience. This is your chance. Sign up and do something. Don't just complain about it. All right. So, on behalf of UUM Model United Nations Club and Gloreen Department, I would like to extend gratitude and thanks to our two guests, as well as everyone who tuned in and watched tonight. Subscribe to this YouTube channel and come again next month for the 5th episode. So until then, remember to be part of the solution and not part of the pollution. Goodbye.
Oh no, honey, I'm good. I could have another, but I probably should not. I got somebody at home, and if I stay, I might not leave alone. No.
Look how all the tables have turned. Guess you're finally realizing how bad you messed it up. Girl, you're only making it worse when you call like you always do when you want someone. You took away a year of my fucking life, and I can't get it back no more. So when I see those tears coming out your eyes, I hope it's me. Therefore, you didn't love when you had me, but now you need me so badly. You can't be serious. That's hilarious. Thinking I would still want you after the things you put me through. Yeah, you're delirious. That's hilarious. Now you put the blame in. Now you put the blame in reverse, trying to make me feel guilty for everything you've done. You're another lesson. You're just another lesson I learned. Don't give your heart to a girl who's still got a broken one. You took away a year of my fucking life, and I can't get it back no more. So when I see those tears coming out your eyes, I hope it's me. But now you need. I need a lover to keep me sane. Pull me from hell, bring me back again. Play me the classics, something romantic. Giving my all when I don't even have it. I always dreamed of a solemn face, someone who feels like a holiday. But now I'm in pieces, barely believing, starting to think that I've lost all feeling. You came out the blue on a rainy night, no lie. I tell you how I almost died, while you're bringing me back to life. I just wanna live in this moment forever, 'cause I'm afraid that living couldn't get any better. Started giving up on the word forever, till you gave up heaven so we could be together. Oh, my angel, angel, baby, angel. You're my angel, baby, baby, you're my angel, angel, baby. I fall in love with the little things, counting the tattoos on your skin. Tell me a secret, and baby I'll keep it, and maybe we can play house for the weekend. We came at the blue on a rainy night, no lie. I tell you how I almost died, while you're bringing me back to life. I just wanna live in this moment forever, 'cause I'm afraid that living couldn't get any better. Started giving up on the word forever, Let's pretend to fall asleep now.